Meanwhile, the Department of War has released a second batch of UAP and UFO files. NTD's Sean Marshall spoke with a military veteran about the recent release and his story of finding his deceased father-in-law's Soviet-era UFO reverse engineering documents.
Batch number 2 of UFO and UAP files has been released to the public, also known as unidentified anomalous phenomena. This recent tranche of files contains information dating back to the 1940s and more unexplainable NASA audio clips, even video of what's described to be an F-16C shooting down a UAP over Lake Huron in February 2023. As a former U.S. Air Force Security Forces specialist, Gene Sticco brings his experience into the world of pioneering work and forensic investigations of UAP and UFO programs across governments.
So I come out of an intelligence background, so I'm probably one of the few people in the community that tries to take a little bit more of a evidentiary-based approach to what do we actually know versus what's popular discussion topics, throughout all of this. Myself, I got involved in this only back in 2019, and it was after the death of my father-in-law, who was a physicist in the old Soviet Union. He passed away, and my wife and I discovered almost 200 pages of engineering that essentially detailed the reverse engineering of a UFO. And in 2024, we began bringing this forward, and that's when I've gotten involved in this.
In a statement, Chief Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell said, since the site's launch on May 8, 2026, war.gov/UFO has received over 1 billion hits worldwide, highlighting the unprecedented levels of interest in both this topic and the Trump administration's historic transparency effort.
Many periods throughout history, there have been direct interactions. These are all things that I think the general public is going to have to get their minds around as a real thing and away from what's been developed in the pop culture, since the 40s, 50s, E.T., Independence Day. Steven Spielberg's coming out with a new film in June called Disclosure Day, which dives a little bit more into the, let's say, contemporary views and subjects that are going on with it. So there's a lot to digest, and obviously people will handle it in different ways.
After the first release, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said these files, hidden behind classifications, have long fueled justified speculation, and it's time the American people see it for themselves.
But these things exist. There appears to be information that the government has that talks about the biologics, the life forms that operate these craft. And there appears to be, technology that has been derived over the last 80 plus years from crash recoveries and reverse engineering efforts.
The government UFO website states the materials archived here are unresolved cases, meaning the government is unable to make a definitive determination on the nature of the observed phenomena. Sean Marshall, NTD News.